we identified 10 priorities, and I shall go through them quite quickly. And this is not in priority order. I'll give you the top 3 in reverse order in due course. The first one we came up with lack of bus services in rural areas. Secondly, the lack of parking and enforcement. Thirdly, HGV volume and routes. Definition of cycle routes within the community area. Road and route maintenance, that's pothole and verges. Increasing traffic on the M4 and A419 and the diversion through our villages as rat runs. Lack of pedestrian access, and this was particularly with reference to Wootton Bassett. The effectiveness of the community speed watch operation. The 9th was the effect of development in neighbouring parishes. And 10th was the environmental design on our transport and network. Our top 3 in reverse order, at number 3 was a joint number 3 with regard to route maintenance and the increased traffic allied to the M4 and A419, with the action needed that we wanted a funding for effective maintenance programme and effective planning and development policies. The second, number 2, was the lack of bus service in rural areas, and in terms of community transport, the action needed is more funding. And surprise, surprise, at number 1, anyone guess? It's HGV volumes and routes. And we have a host of actions needed, which are written down here, and my 2 minutes are up. I won't go into great detail of them. But it comes down to environmental planning, where we put things, and mitigation processes to cope with them. So that's the 3. But most of our actions, unfortunately, in the transport are funding related. Thank you.
Safety is something that spreads across pretty much every single table in the room. So, for example, safe roads to travel on, safe houses to live in, safe places to go and eat and drink and enjoy yourselves in the evening, people growing up safely, growing up correctly. Within there, we looked at the JSA, we looked at a couple of things that came out of it. One of the main things that came out of it for us was antisocial behaviour, and we looked at the effects that has on the wider community. And we went away from a classical look at what we class as antisocial behaviour into the wider context. And we started to look at things, for example, like dog poo bins or bags being hung on fence posts and stuff like that, antisocial parking. One of the actions we come on there was about increasing community pride, so involving people. And we looked at intergenerational projects to try and get people involved and engaged in improving their community, improving the way they look about things, the way they feel about the places where they live. And then as a result of that, the knock-on would be that the safety in that community would start to improve. We also looked at inter-economic projects as well, so not just about looking at the age groups and breaking down the barriers between the younger community and the older community, but also the different social classes within those communities as well. And by doing that, we were looking at creating more opportunities for new activities, so involving people, putting projects out there, getting people in the communities engaged and joining in. The other priority we looked at was regard to domestic abuse. Within the area, it's 1.4 per 1,000 people, which we said was still 1.4 too many. That's the ones that have been reported. We think there's probably more out there that aren't reported. But again, it's how do we actually look after those people and how do we actually make those people feel safe in the community. And one of the things we were looking at was creation of safe places. So not just a police station, a fire station or somewhere local authority run, but actually looking at involving the shops, looking at involving community campuses, looking at other places that haven't traditionally been looked at, and actually sort of saying, if you're out and about around the town you live in, and you're feeling unhappy or you're feeling unsafe or you're feeling scared, here's a sign, here's a place you can go to where you can go in there and you can actually sort of feel a bit safer. That really is where we got to, really, with community safety, antisocial behaviour and domestic violence. If we can deal with those two things, they're a lot interlinked. They will drive down a lot of the area. But actually, by rolling community safety out into the wider area as well, with regards to transport, housing, etc., etc., we can have a bit of a knock-on effect into there as well.